Now I know some of you out there might be steak purist, a beef purist out there who wants the flavor of beef to really punch through. And I do too, I'm all about that, but every once in a while, we like to change up the flavor game by adding a sauce, but don't you dare go grabbing that A1. I'm gonna show you guys how to make 3 no-cook steak sauces to up your flavor game and have a great steak night. I know what else to say, Ethan. Is that it? That's it.
I think that's it.
Let me show you how to make 3 awesome steak sauces. Now I do want to get started with my ribeye first. Check this thing out, Ethan. This is a big steak for 2. Making the perfect steak on your Blackstone is very, very simple. Get a big, fat steak that we know we're gonna slice later, because that thicker steak is going to give us a much bigger window of success when we cook it. If you're looking for that medium rare or even rare, we can get that beautiful crust without worrying about overcooking it. So very simple, just add some olive oil and some Blackstone Steakhouse to all sides. Get the griddle set to stun. I mean, this is the easiest part of the whole recipe. Don't overthink steaks. High heat, thick cut, decent seasoning, and let that go to town. Now on to the stars of the show. I'm gonna start with my first one, which is a chimichurri. It sounds fancy, but it's a very, very simple sauce. I'm gonna start with some flat leaf parsley. It definitely needs to be flat leaf. Doesn't have to be like, it's not a puree. We're not using a machine here, we're doing it by hand, so you want it to have some of that look, but you want it to be hand chopped. We're doing the same thing to some cilantro. I tend to go 50-50, maybe a little bit more cilantro than the parsley, but essentially you want a good blend of both. The cilantro brings a much different flavor characteristic, and it really, for me, it makes chimichurri absolutely pop. Now we need some fresh garlic. So let's mince that up as tiny as possible. Now once you have everything chopped up nice and small, let's add that to a bowl. I'm gonna add some lime juice. The lime juice is gonna give us a really bright acidity and sweetness, the punch that's gonna cut through the fat of the beef. A little bit more acidity. A touch of red wine vinegar goes a long, long way, and a bit of salt and pepper. And that you can do red pepper flakes too if you want. I like the heat. Leave this part out if you don't like it. That's it. That's as simple as chimichurri is. Add a decent amount of olive oil, mix it up, and you're done. The oil will start to permeate with all the other flavors too, so do this the day before or an hour before. It's fantastic. All right, sauce number 2. Now we're going into prime rib territory, a bit more on the savory side. We're gonna start with some mayo and then some horseradish. I would say if it's 1 part mayo, half a part horseradish, so more mayonnaise than horseradish. We're also gonna add some grated Parmesan. This is gonna give us a saltiness, but also a really rich flavor. Finish that out and thin it out with a bit of fresh lemon juice. The lemon juice adds both that acidity, remember we were talking about it cutting through the beef fat, that's why we want it to be there, and some sweetness. I also like to hit this with a bit of salt and pepper. Be a little generous on the pepper. It just makes it look really, really pretty. When you mix it, make sure it's nice and even and smooth. It's something we can spread evenly or drizzle. Add a nice little chefy drizzle later. All right, sauce number 3. Now this is the closest to a technical steak sauce, but trust me, it's far better than an A1. 4 ingredients, that's it. We're gonna start with some ketchup and then some sriracha. Same thing, 1 part ketchup, about 25% of that sriracha. Unless you like it really, really spicy, go a little heavier on the sriracha. Then we're gonna add some Worcestershire and then some soy sauce. Now all of these things mixed together, you know them individually, but when they're mixed, it creates something new. It creates something that we're kind of used to with a steak sauce, but you made it yourself so you can feel better about it. Now our steak is just about fit. Actually, I think our steak looks fantastic. Let's bring that off and rest. Remember, the rule of thumb on a steak this big is if it took you 10 minutes to cook, let it rest for 5 minutes, but after it's rested, then we can slice it. I'm sure you've experienced it at home. If you slice too soon, all of those juices spill out, so give it a second to relax before you slice it. After you've sliced it, it's time to plate. Now I'm gonna do this just kind of as a trick for us. So we're gonna slice it and then arrange it on our plate in 3 different sections so we can try all 3 of our sauces. This is a fun party trick too if you wanna serve this family style. Serve it like this, maybe a bigger platter, maybe make more steaks, slice it and serve it with each corresponding sauce so people can see the difference and figure out what they like the best. All right, let's give this a try. I think I want to start with the traditional. What do you think, Ethan, the traditional one?
Yeah, let's go with the traditional.
So they all have a ton of flavor, but I want to kind of go up in intensity to keep my palate nice. So this is our, think of it like a steak sauce. right? An A1 type of sauce. So easy.
Better than A1? Better than ketchup?
Well, there's ketchup in it. You know what happens is sriracha has like garlic flavor in it. It really amplifies. The combo of the soy and the Worcestershire, phenomenal. Let's do, we'll save the horseradish for last because that's like the most pungent flavor. Let's grab some of this chimney. Now, if you watch any of the other shows on this channel, we all love our chimney. My chimney and CJ's chimney are very similar. You know why, Ethan?
Probably because he learned it from you.
Didn't have to say anything. Oh yeah. Mmm. There's something about chimichurri. If you've never made it, it's, you know when you have a flavor and you go, oh, what was that? That's what chimichurri is. It's hard to describe. Just make it. All right, last one. So this was the horseradish, mayo, Parmesan, lemon. Now this one feels a bit more elevated. Whenever you have a white sauce on a steak, the contrast is really nice. But horseradish and beef, they do kind of the same thing, that the acidity of the chimichurri, that it really cuts through the fattiness of the beef. Making a mess. It makes the beef beefier. Thank you guys all so much for hanging out. Take your steak game to the next level by using your sauces. If you haven't tried the steakhouse from Blackstone, really, really good stuff. Kind of a one-stop shop. If you haven't yet, click the subscribe button. Follow all the other content on the network. But this is Cookie Repeat, where we like to help you become a better cook, one recipe at a time. I'm your host, Chef Nathan Lippy, and I will see you guys in the next episode.